Welcome to the Sixth Sense Foundation.
All she do is choose. 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 All she do is choose.
Dr. Erica Jones here with the Art of Transition podcast. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your attention. I have a really special guest. As you all know, I let my guests introduce themselves, and right here it's one of my friends from way back from Troy University. We are both Troy University alumni. We went to school in Troy, Alabama. So I'm going to be quiet and let my guests introduce themselves.
Thank you, Erica. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is attorney Renchero's Fortune. A lot of people know me by Rose, and today I appreciate you guys for joining us. And it's just a couple things I want to kind of talk about, just to highlight my experience as an attorney, how I got to becoming an attorney, a little bit about my upbringing, and presently what I have going. So I just want to talk to you about those. And maybe I can help you guys out, some future lawyers, some people that want to aspire to be young professionals, and things of that nature.
Definitely. I really don't know how people actually become lawyers. Mm-hmm. I know you have to go to law school. I don't know what the process of applying is like. Mm-hmm. I know you have to pass a test. I don't know how that works from state to state.
Right.
But from what I understand, it's a very arduous process.
It is.
So just break that down, for us and for the audience in just a short amount of time, if you can, mm-hmm. and talk about your experiences that you had going through this transition.
Mm-hmm. All right. So definitely the first thing is, if you don't have a mentor, I really just would advise you to get a mentor. Myself, it was a long, hard road. I had nobody really to turn to, and I literally figured it out myself by trial and error. So the first thing I would tell you to do is, if you want to become an attorney, it does not matter what your major is in undergrad. A misconception is you have to be pre-law, you have to be political science or criminal justice. This is not the case at all.
Really?
Correct.
What was your major?
I was criminal justice because I was one of those that had a misnomer, so to speak. It was misconceived, and so I was criminal justice with a minor in psychology. I knew that psychology could help me, figure people out. But when I got to law school, mm-hmm. we had a lot of history majors, we had a lot of education majors, former teachers. A lot of individuals had literally changed their careers. We had accountants and finance and business gurus, and for them, knowing the law actually helped them out in their actual career field. So you would be surprised. You don't have to be criminal justice at all. So do what you want to do what loves you, do what inspires you. And so you have to have an undergraduate degree. So that's the biggest thing. As you know, as a doctor, you have to have undergraduate. That 4 years is extremely important.
Okay.
However, the next step is figuring out what do you want to go to law school? I tell people, go to law school in the state that you want to practice. If you know you want to be in New York, go to the Brooklyn School of Law. You know you want to be in Cali, you can go to UCLA or any other school out there. You know, so it's very important because that state and that school, the laws are going to be synonymous. That school is going to teach you the actual laws of that state. So for me, I knew I was going to practice in Alabama, so I ended up going to the Thomas Good Jones School of Law in Montgomery, Alabama. And so in short, you need the LSAC, okay? You have to go to lsac.org. It is a web-based application site where you put together your letters of recommendation. You're gonna need at least 3 to 5.
Oh yeah, those are key.
Correct. And your GPA, don't really worry about your GPA because you're gonna get an opportunity to get an even playing field with your LSAT. It's a law school admissions test, all right? Kaplan has a good prep course for that. Barbary also has a good prep course for that. And you can just Google prep course LSAT.
Did you have to take a prep course?
I did.
Okay.
I did. A lot of African Americans were not good test takers.
Right.
And so for me, I did Princeton Review as well. That's another good negative. And so I took the LSAT prep course. I made a 147, and you compile all this information, your resumes, your personal statements, why you're going to be an attorney. It's really a biography of yourself.
See.
And so if you compile all that, you pick certain schools you want to apply to, and once you put this on this database and you send it to the schools electronically. And so they get it, they let you know, hey, we want you, no, we don't want you. And it's very important though that you have a good LSAT score, because that determines not your ability to be a lawyer, but actually your mindset, your reasoning, how you problem solve, the way you go about just fixing a situation. Because as an attorney, you should know, like, people come to you with problems, and they want you to fix those problems. So a lot of times they test your mindset and your ability and your capacity, you know, to formulate things and to figure out the rule and to come up with a resolution or a solution. I got accepted to Thomas Good Jones, but I didn't get a scholarship, and so financial aid is really important. And as an adult, you get an opportunity to file by yourself, so you do get that amount of financial aid to cover it. But then it's like, how are we gonna pay for this after graduating, after taking the bar, hopefully passing the bar and becoming an attorney? And just a quick little nugget, I'm enrolled in the public student loan forgiveness. So after 120 payments, all my student loans are forgiven. So someone like me, who was a first generation college student, I had no trust fund. I had no choice but to take out some loans. And so it's important that I get these loans paid off, or it's going to be debt. It's good debt, but it's debt still.
It's still debt. Still something that you have to pay back.
It's still debt.
And Lord, don't I know about it?
Yeah, so I've always worked for, you know, the state. So it could be, you can teach, you can work for the state, you can work for the county, you can work for municipal, any 501(c), any nonprofit, or any state or government agency qualifies.
Gotcha.
So that's really important. And I just want to reiterate, please go to a law school in the state which you want to practice, because that school will focus on the state laws of wherever you are, that territory. It's important.
So let's talk about transitioning. You know, the whole podcast is about the art of transition.
Correct.
Because there's truly an art to moving on to different opportunities. So let's kind of transition into like what you feel like motivated you to transition from, you know, a kid who grew up in the Deep South, an attorney who is now continuing to practice in the Deep South. Like, what's motivated you along this path, and how you've actually utilized the resources that were available to you
right so
to help the community.
As you can see, I'm black, and so
yes,
seriously,
black.
And so you could imagine being in a small town from Alabama, getting pulled over countless times. What's in your car? Any weed, any drugs, you've been drinking, where you going, where you coming from. My brother has felonies, all my cousins have felonies. I have cousins in jail right now. And so not everybody is innocent, but not everybody is guilty.
Right.
And so a lot of times we get stereotyped, and my mindset is, what can I do to make change? What can I do to if not stop it somewhat, at least alleviate it? And so for me, being an attorney, I was able to know the law. Okay, you can't do this. You know, this is illegal. You know, and then I could be charged. It's like, oh, you forgot to do this, you didn't follow protocol, that's not company policy. And so it was advantageous for me to become an attorney because not only can I help myself get out of like sticky situations, I could also help my people because racism is real.
It is. It is real. Anybody who tells you it's not real, anybody who tries to sugarcoat it and say they don't see color, any of that, no.
It's real.
It's real.
Straight up.
Systemic racism, it's a thing.
Absolutely.
Whether or not it's affected you or not, I know for myself and my family, it's affected me.
Right.
It's affected all of us for generations.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's real.
So it's like, what can I do? And you'll be surprised, even in my career field, a lot of my clients, they look just like me. I was telling you a story earlier how I met a client and he was like, "Are you a lawyer? You my lawyer?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "But you look like me." Correct, I do, but that doesn't take away from my mindset, my skill set. I'm just like you, and I come from that same upbringing. A lot of my clients are like, "Oh, you don't understand. You don't know where I came from. You never been in this situation." I had it.
How do you know?
Listen, and that's to your point. That's another thing. I wanted people to be able to relate. I'm just like you. Literally, I just went to college. Like that is the only difference. I know how it feels some handcuffs. It doesn't feel good. You know, at Troy 2 times underage drinking. One time I can remember I got hit by a car. They seen alcohol, young black man, you got to come with us. One of your sorors, Samantha, actually bailed me out. 2005, fall 2005.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
For everybody who doesn't know, I remember Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Ooh, I pledged the Nu Theta chapter in Troy University. At the time, it was Troy State University.
Yes, I remember that, Troy State. Yes.
Yeah, so
TSU.
TSU has now transitioned on, and now it's Troy University.
Right.
So everything goes with transitions, and the point of it all is to just be able to grasp everything and to really figure out where we are and how we can help people as we transition, because it's a natural thing for businesses, for people, for our bodies, for our minds. We're going to transition through so much as we continue to live, and when we're not living anymore, we're making other transitions, and the stories about us are going to transition through different phases.
Absolutely, and the word transition makes me think of one phase. And to the listeners, like, growth is important. I can remember. Do you remember Dean Reeves? Herb Reeves.
Yes.
So Dean Reeves is the at our school. He's still employed there. He's the dean of student services. True story. He threatened to kick me out of school my freshman year.
Wow.
Do you not know that was the same man that wrote me a letter of recommendation to law school?
What?
Yes. And growth and transition. Absolutely. Now, I could not be more proud of that. And I love to say that statement.
Yeah, that's amazing.
True story.
When I tell you that you had to have some type of turnaround for that to happen.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I just want you to take a second to really talk about yourself and what you're doing right now.
Okay.
You know, how you transition. For those of you who really just don't understand how people move from place to place, how people will transition from different career sub-segments and things like that.
Right.
Talk a little bit about what you're doing for the community.
Okay, so I am a huge advocate of giving back. Everything I've ever done has been community oriented, simply because I came from that low income household, that broken home, that domestic violence household. And I saw a lot of things which I shouldn't have seen as a child. And so for me, I've never had a father. My dad died at AIDS when I was 8 years old. And so for me, how can I be a mentor, being that I never had a mentor? How can I be a father that I never had a father? So that's extremely important. And so one of the things we do is I volunteer at the At Promise Center. It's located in the Bluff, the worst part of Atlanta, East Atlanta, near the Buckhead area. And I myself was an at-risk youth. And so for me, I go back and again, I relate because I look like them. You know, I go shoot ball with them. We go hoop. We teach them about GEDs, because a lot of them actually did drop out.
Okay.
We try to get you back in the system as far as like not the bad system, not prison, but as far as like corporate America, how can we get you to get a profession? If you like selling drugs, okay, wait, let's do it legally. Be a pharmacist. We try to flip that. You like music, okay, it's a studio at the Promise Center. Like,
oh wow,
yes, you know.
Okay.
We talk about safe sex. We talk about parenting. We teach them how to cook, how to do laundry.
Life skills.
Exactly, because that's important.
It is.
That's important. And as you know, I've been a public defender for about 5 years now. And I try to minister to my clients, but I felt like I wasn't doing a lot of good because I would see the same faces. And so now I'm actually transitioning to the other side as a prosecutor.
Okay.
And so I have that autonomy as far as I can reduce a charge. I can do alternative sentencing. Okay, you don't need to go to prison. You need some rehabilitation.
Okay.
Or you need some vocational training.
Okay.
What can we do to get you job skills? What can we do? Again, GED is going to be a part of your probation. Okay. You know, we need to build you up instead of putting you in a cage and breaking you down. Okay. And I think that's extremely important because we don't have enough of us who came from my upbringing who made it out trying to fight for the ones that are still there. Right. You have to reach back. Okay. And that's extremely important. So that's just kind of a little bit of what I'm trying to do. We also have a nonprofit. Just want to throw it out there, the Good Fortune Group, where we do mentor, where we teach. Here at athletic component. So if you like to play sports, let's build you up athletically as well as academically. So you can choose what institution of higher learning that you actually want to go to. Gotcha. I think that's important.
How did you decide that, hey, we're going to do a nonprofit? And then, like, you figured out how to do that. How did that thought process work?
I mentioned earlier, like, I believe the saying, Gandhi said it, just be the change that you want to see in the world. Or like Bob Marley, JFK, MLK, Malcolm X. Like, it's like enough of us, we don't take action. And I know how it feels to not have a mentor, not have any help. And so I know my struggle and how hard it was for me. So if God has blessed me to make it through all of that, why not pull somebody else up? And so,
why not?
You know, like, it's that simple. So it's like, what can I do? I'm not losing no sleep. I'm not losing no money. You know what I'm saying? And like, I can think of so many different clients that'll come up and just thank me. And that is priceless. Knowing that I helped somebody out, like, that wouldn't have necessarily made it without me. Like, you can't put a monetary value on that.
What does that feel like?
Oh my God, it gives you chill bumps. Like, Erica, when I say it is amazing, it's just, that's your reward. Like, I was told one day when I got to do charges drop, they was like, remember this feeling. This is why you do it. Like, and it almost like brings tears to your eyes because you know a lot of people in this world, they don't care. Everybody's kind of out for self. So I challenge you to be selfless. You know, I challenge you to just help because if everybody did it, the world would be a better place. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. That's a challenge that so I'm an only child. So you hear things like, oh, only children, they are very selfish, and it really does take a lot more effort to think outside of yourself. Correct. And I had a conversation with a mentor per se, and we talked about the difference in, you know, I think maybe he's around like his late 50s, and we talked about the difference in, you know, their generation and our generation. Correct. And he said one of you guys' greatest challenges is going to be to think outside of yourself. And that is definitely a call to action. It is. For all of us to think outside of ourselves. It's a challenge.
Absolutely, because a lot of us are like, hey, look at me, you want that attention. But like, I mean, if I can talk a little bit about my faith, like what we're supposed to do is supposed to glorify God. And so it's not supposed to be about self. You know, like, I don't want the recognition. I don't need the recognition. Like, that attention does not do me any good, you know? And so if we all think about like we do it for glory of God, or we do it to benefit somebody else, and we just have that mindset, change your way of thinking, then, and I think we can accomplish those goals and literally save our generation from the demise we headed towards.
Gotcha. And that's beautiful. Can you let the viewers know, let the listeners know, like, how they can get in touch with you, how they can get involved in your nonprofit, even if it's like something that's not physical, if you want donations, just go ahead right now, let them know the name, the Instagrams, the websites.
Right. Okay, so right now, it's Good Fortune Group, and shout out to my best friend, my frat brother, Barry Louis Gould. I love him. But you can reach us at IAMMRFORTUNE@gmail.com. IAMMRFORTUNE@gmail.com.
Is that MISTER or MR?
MR.
Okay.
MR, yeah. I appreciate the clarification.
Okay. Oh, and tell them what French you in. Make sure you represent.
Shout out to the bros. You see the text. Statified chapter, 1976, Cap Episode Return Incorporated. I am a new 10 weeks of hell. Shout out to my DP Hulk. But definitely that was a part of the journey. You know, pledging capital, achievement in every field of human endeavor. But definitely the Good Fortune Group, you can find us on the web. You can also, like I said, hit the email, IAMMRFORTUNE@gmail.com. And just whatever you guys want to do, you want to link up. We can, any activities that you guys want to be a part of, let us know. I have a person on Instagram, ONLY, the number 1 roast, only one roast. I think it's important to be an individual, and I believe I am that. So, you know, get in touch, reach out. If we can come to your community, we can clean up, we can mentor, we can talk about financial literacy, education, being a young professional. I'm always here to help.
Man, you are truly making moves and transitioning through so many different parts of the community. It's just, it's really touching.
Thank you. He ain't done with me yet, though. For real.
I believe God is a woman. That's a whole nother conversation.
Well, hey, listen, she expects more of me. That's cool. I'm okay with that.
We can talk about that on another day.
Okay.
I just really appreciate you
Not a problem.
spending your time with us. It's hard for young professionals to link up. Our time is in demand, and right now we're living through a pandemic. We are dealing with so many issues in regards to race and just what we look like. Right here, you have 2 young professionals with locks.
I say.
Okay. We are here and we are present.
Absolutely.
And we just want you all to know that there are people that look like you, who are doing major things, who believe in you, and it's important for you to see us.
Absolutely.
It's definitely important for you to see us. I really thank you. I appreciate you so much. And I can't wait until we talk again. I'm overwhelmed right now. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Anytime. Seriously, anytime. I enjoyed it.
Welcome to the Sixth Sense Foundation.